everybody, welcome to the Clubhouse for Women. My name is Tracy.
And I'm Nieka.
And we are the creators of Nieka's Notebook.
This channel is where we share ideas, solve problems, and build a network of women who are small business owners, solopreneurs, and freelancers all around the world.
Even if your business is still a work in progress, this channel can still be for you. Today, we are talking about remote work.
Hi, Melissa. How are you? Good. How are you? Welcome. Come on in. I'm doing the mental walk.
Ready? Okay. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to the Clubhouse for Women. Okay, so Melissa, we just have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
What do you do?
So I am an instructional designer for a business transformation company. So what that means is that I take our clients' business needs or training needs and translate them and create products so that they can train their employees, whether it's management training or product training.
Is it for mostly web-based training, or is it like literally physical pamphlet training as well?
It varies. So I do anything from web-based trainings to coordinating in-person trainings. I don't actually do them. I just write them to job aids. So all of it.
That sounds really good. How long have you had this job?
I've been with the company I've been with for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in January, but I've been doing instructional design formally for the past 7, 8 years.
How long has this job been remote?
The entire time that I've had this position.
Oh, okay.
The entire time.
How did COVID affect your employment?
Not a whole lot since I was already remote. My position was remote. The only thing that really changed is some of our business, the tempo of it slowed down because our clients weren't so sure of what was going on in their industries and not having people in their spaces. So that's the only really thing that changed. And then also shifting a lot of live training to web-based training or online training. So we had a lot of that happen too.
Okay. And do you ever have to go into the office?
Not very often, ever since I've been with this job, and I've been with this job ever since we were in it. I'm originally from Indianapolis, and we moved up to Michigan about 3 years ago. I would go into office maybe every 6 weeks, and then up here, especially with COVID, that's been a lot less. And in fact, our office has changed the way that they have everything set up. People used to have cubes. Now it's more of a hoteling office space where you sign up, you come in, you sit at a desk wherever there's space, and then you go home.
So you don't have an actual office outside of your house?
Nope, haven't for 6 years.
Remote working!
Yeah.
Remote working! Okay, so today we want to talk about time management. Now, I know that you are a wife, a mother, and you're a full-time worker.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the things.
And is it hard to manage your time?
Sometimes it is because, lines blur or something gets, it can sometimes be, or you're in this meeting, for example, you're on an online meeting, you're like, I could really be doing something else right now. That in the house, or, there's laundry, you're looking at a pile of laundry or something like that. And sometimes, I might, during one of those meetings that I'm just listening, like an all-company meeting, definitely go and do a load of laundry. That's one of the ways I manage my time. Being perfectly transparent and honest. But I think that's a lot of what some people do. I mean, it's not something unheard of.
So when you got your job, did you do anything special to get this job? And do you have any advice for anyone that's trying to do remote work?
I did actually do something special to get this job. This was a career change for me. So I actually started out getting an instructional design internship, and I was very intentional about what I was looking for in that internship, and I really got lucky, and I found a remote internship. So my instructional design internship was all remote, from home, and paid, which is really strange and very lucky. But with this, then when I was looking to find a full-time position, I went to this website called, I think it was remotejobs.com, and some of it's free, some of it's behind a paywall, but I did the paywall and I was able to find this position. And they had a lot of different positions on there. So that's what I did to find this particular position with the company I'm with.
Okay. Thank you so much for that information. Finally, can you please tell us if anyone wants to follow you on social media, how do they follow you on social media?
Oh, I don't do a whole lot, but I am on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I do some Instagram. So
What is your Instagram handle?
oh gosh, I forgot about that. It is MELIV_500.
All right. And today we're also going to talk to Melissa about a quick family dinner. So we're going to start that.
Okay. So today I'm making one of my girls' favorite fast things that we do. This is something that is faster than takeout. They love Chinese food. And this is beef and green bean. And it takes about, I've done it in 15 minutes with some of the shortcuts I have, but definitely 30 minutes and under. So to start here, I want to start with making the rice. Now what you can do, I have the shot, is if you're really pressed for time or if you're horrible making rice, I'm one of those people. These are really great. These are rice in a bowl, and all you have to do is peel it up, warm it up, and you have your rice cooked for you. Or what I also do, because again, I'm horrible at making rice, and this is what we're going to start with first. I am going to put some rice in the Instant Pot. Now, if you have a rice cooker, it's the same thing. So I have my Instant Pot. I put about 1.5 cups of rice in here because I like to have a little bit left over, because if we have any leftovers, my girls like taking it to school. They put it in a thermos and do all that. So I'm going to fill my Instant Pot. Now I do this, I don't measure. I do it the way that some TikTok people have taught me how to do it, is that you have your rice and you make sure that it has like a finger depth of space between the top of the rice and the water. And that's how you get your perfect rice. The other thing with the Instant Pot especially, you do have to put a little oil, about a teaspoon. I just eyeball it, just a splash of oil, and this keeps the rice from bubbling up in the Instant Pot. So we're gonna put that on. That's the first thing I do, because then you don't have to worry about it while you're doing the other stuff. Oh God, I framed that. I'm gonna set the timer here. It's on. There we go. I'm gonna hit my pressure cook and set it for 3 minutes. So this rice, you're gonna pressure cook it for 3 minutes, and then you're gonna let it sit for 7 minutes with the Instant Pot.
So now what if you don't have an Instant Pot?
So if you don't have an Instant Pot, cook your favorite rice the way that the instructions tell you. I've done it so long in the Instant Pot, I don't know what that is. So, because I'm one of those people who are horrible making rice on the stove. So this saves me time. I don't have to babysit it. Like turn it down, turn it up, all that stuff. So there's my rice already cooking. I don't have to worry about it until it beeps, and then it goes 7 minutes. So the next thing I'm going to do with my recipe here is I'm going to start making the sauce that's going to go into the stir fry pan when I start to cook everything. So I'm kind of, it's like I do the sauce, then I do my prep work with my vegetables and my meat, and then we have everything together, and we'll take it all to the stove and it'll cook. So for my sauce, I have, let's see, we have soy sauce, and we have about 1/4 of a cup of that. Roll that out. Usually I just eyeball this stuff at this point, but today. Then I'm gonna get a little bit of warm water from over here from the sink so I can mix up some my cornstarch and it doesn't get all clumpy. And that's gonna thicken up your sauce and make it like when you go get Chinese takeout. And this is about a teaspoon. So make that, dump it in. This part's optional. This is Shaoxing cooking wine, and you can use this. This is a lot of Chinese recipes. Again, about a tablespoon or a teaspoon. Again, that's optional. Then we have our first, we have some brown sugar. I'm just gonna put one of those lumps in here. Then we have garlic, and you can either just pound your garlic, crush it, and put it in, or I have a garlic press here, and I'm gonna get that all in there. Go. Yeah. And these are pretty big garlic cloves. You can put in as much or as little as you want, but these are pretty big, so that's why I just went with 2. And then I have ginger. Now you can cut your ginger and slice it. What I like to do, because you always get these big things, huge things of ginger, I put my ginger in the freezer, and then all you have to do is take a grater and you can grate off the amount of ginger you need. And I think I put in the recipe that it's about 1 inch of ginger. Move that so you can see. So you see here, I'm just grate. Ooh. Until you think it's enough ginger or you feel like stopping or whatever. Some people really like ginger. Yummy stuff. All right. So you see here, we've got this all together. Got your sauce. You can always make, if you like yours really saucy, I'm just going to put a little bit more. You can add more. It really is forgiving. And then the last thing, a lot of Chinese places, beef and green beans are really spicy. You can add siracha. You can add green pepper flake. Either one. We're going to just shake some of those in there just to taste. We like it spicy. So that's the sauce. Next I have meat. This is actually sliced New York strip steak from Costco. If you can't find this where you're at, or you can use any protein. You can use beef, you can use chicken, you can use shrimp, you can use tofu. But I'm making the traditional beef and green bean. This is sliced from Costco, which just really makes things fast, as long as it's defrosted. But you can also take a steak or a cut of beef or whatever, chicken, make sure it's like half frozen, and then you get those really thin slices. And the thinner slices, the thinner it's gonna cook. I mean, the quicker it's gonna cook. So that's why I like the thin stuff. And I'm just gonna break it up here. Slice it in little smaller pieces. because they basically like take a whole steak and slice it up. So just do that. So we got my beef here. So we got sauce, we got the beef. The last thing we need to get is the green beans. Now wait here a second. With the green beans, you can use frozen or you can use fresh. If you use fresh, I suggest that you blanch them in a little bit of water for about 5 minutes with some salt in it, just to get them softened up a little bit. If they're frozen, make sure they're defrosted, or you're gonna get a lot of extra moisture in your beef and green beans. So we're gonna let these sit. We're gonna let these blanch for 5 minutes, and then we have everything together now to start cooking the stir fry. We're over here. We have everything we need to cook, so this is gonna go really fast. So one thing. Onions. Almost forgot. All right, red onions here, thinly sliced. So we're gonna wait for my wok here. Now, if you don't have a wok, cast iron skillet, regular skillet, whatever you got, use it. And we're just gonna wait for this to get pretty hot, because one thing in Chinese cooking you'll notice is when you get your beef and green beans from the restaurant, they might have a little char on them, and we're gonna try to do that here. We'll see. So I'm gonna put my meat in. I didn't put any oil because this meat has a lot of, has some good fat in it. I'm just gonna let that sit here for a second so it can start getting brown. Take some time to put some black pepper with my meat. I'm not going to add any extra salt because our, we have the soy sauce mixture, so we really don't need to add any extra salt unless you like it that way. I'll put the salt a little higher because this is quite a bit of meat, so. So we're just going to start putting that stir fry. And then after a couple of minutes of having the meat in, as you can see, this is cooking pretty quickly because it's so thin. This is also a little frozen, so. So yeah, that's just water coming off of it because the meat was a little bit frozen from earlier. I just picked this up from Costco, and I think they cut this half frozen like I mentioned earlier. I put my onions in now. And I'm just gonna cook this until this gets not pink anymore, and then I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna start cooking our green beans and then add everything back in together. So don't worry, this will be thoroughly cooked by the time we're all done here. And you don't really want to overcook your meat either. even though this is New York strip, you don't want it to get dry. I'm gonna pull this off right now. Again, this is gonna go back in. I'm gonna wipe out our block here and put it back on the heat so we can start our green beans. And that's when I'm gonna put in a little oil. Probably a couple of tablespoons of oil. Put this on high. And as I mentioned before, these green beans have been blanched, but you can also use frozen. You get those big frozen bags from Costco or the ones from Sam's, Trader Joe's. That's one of the things I keep all the time in our refrigerator because we eat them a lot. Just gonna wait for that pan to get nice and scorching hot. You can see the smoke coming off. Let me just test one. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. That was scary, but that's what you want. So we're going to start getting these green beans. And they end up blitzing or burning a little. That's perfect. I've got one here that already has a little brown on it, which is nice. As I mentioned, these have been blanched. You can go ahead after a couple minutes, add your meat back in. And this is the part that goes really quick. So you got your meat, you got your green beans. You got the green beans. It's almost done. Okay. I've got my helper over here. She is releasing the pressure off my pressure cooker, my Instapot for the rice. And you see here, we've got our meat, we've got our green beans. And then so we got our meat and our green beans done. This is where the magic happens. Sauce. Just pour that in. And this is where you're going to have to kind of eyeball it. If it's not saucy enough for you, you can add some more water or some more soy sauce or both here. And I'm going to add a little bit more of both. Because, we like our Chinese food to have some sauce, right? All right. So what we're going to look for is we're going to look for that sauce. You can see here it's thickening up from the cornstarch. And it's starting to get a little clear. And when it gets clear and thickens, it starts to cling to everything. That's how you know it is ready to go. So,
Now, can you substitute broccoli for the green beans?
you can substitute anything you want. This is one of my favorite, when I go to a Chinese restaurant, this is one of my favorite things to get off their menu is the beef and green beans. And not a lot of Chinese places serve it. So the ones that do, I always get it. But then I started making it at home, so. And it's just as good. And I can make it as spicy or as non-spicy as I want. And if you want to add more spice, you can with sriracha or whatever you want. But now we have our stuff cooked and we are gonna plate it here in a second. So now we're gonna plate this up. I've got rice here. If you wanted to make it extra fancy, most of the time I don't. Because it's usually we're coming from swim class or something like that, and I don't feel like getting the McDonald's because
McDonald's is evil.
So here we go. Nice little scoop of rice. We go over here. Get a scoop of. That's okay. This is just supposed to be a mom, right? Not really a child, right? All right. There you go.
That is so good, Melissa. Thank you so much for your advice and your recipe. The recipe will be written in the description along with Melissa's her social media network or her social media. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Right. Let's dig in. I picked the hardest chopsticks too.
Oh yeah, this looks really good. Thank you so much.
It's hot.
Ooh, hot.
It's hot. And don't forget, you can also use brown rice or cauliflower rice or whatever, noodles, whatever it is that you prefer, or even nothing, if that's what you prefer. So.
Still hot?
Yeah.